Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, we have the October tier list. Unfortunately, I did not get a September tier list out. I meant to a little bit later in the month so that I can incorporate Swampy and Hippo and things like that, but I just didn't get to it. A lot of life stuff happening there. I'll go ahead and update you there in just a minute. But October tier list, I'm very happy with where we are now. I completely wiped out a whole section of the tier list, so you'll see some change there. Also, a lot of the heroes did take a step down in the tiers. There's a lot to discuss here and bring you up to speed on, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Okay, like I promised, life update a couple videos ago. I think it was the last video. I was just giving you guys a bit of an update on me, right? So a couple weeks ago, it was announced that our company is going through a huge restructure. My job is impacted. Not exactly understanding what that means just yet. I just know what we're expecting is I will either need to reapply for my role or what it might look like. My role might change to under the new structure or apply for a completely different role. So essentially my whole role is being eliminated because of some restructure. So I still don't have an update on what that looks like. More and more information is coming out each week. I'm expecting to know more next week. So we'll see what that looks like. But all of y'all sending well wishes and prayers and everything, I truly appreciate it. So thank you so much for the support. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this. I didn't realize, so like I said, my brain has been kind of in a funk because of this, but I didn't realize that I only put out like a couple videos in September. So I've got a lot to make up. And one of those videos that I didn't get out was the September tier list. This is the updated tier list. I made quite a few changes, like I said. First and foremost, I wiped out a complete section. What that section is I removed all unascended legendaries. They are no longer part of the tier list. I don't feel that they serve a purpose much anymore. So I'm actually going to move them into kind of their own video series. So keep an eye on that. That should be coming out a little bit later this week. And that's more of kind of this beginner series I'm going to start putting together for people who are just now joining the game. Because we have the mythics, the mythic pluses, and because we have the banner reruns, there's a whole lot of opportunity to build your roster quicker than what we've been able to before. So those legendaries, I feel, are just much less impactful to your roster. Maybe really early on as you're first starting the game, but they're going to fall off very, very quickly. So let's talk about some of the changes. I'm going to talk about everybody that I moved down first. All right. So I moved Ivy down. Ivy is now in the A tier. She was A+. She held A+ for a very long time. She did get a little bit of a change to her kit a little while ago. But I think right now where she stands, she's still an effective healer. But when you take a look at who's in the A+, and the S tier, and the S+ tier, you're not going to use her a whole much. There you go, a whole much. You're not going to use her a whole lot unless she's your only option for a healer. Still very good. I think she's still better than Mara. Mara did take a step down. Actually, where do I have her? Oh no, I can't talk about Mara because she's a legendary and I completely wiped legendaries off of the list. So that's the change in Ivy. Still a solid healer, but we did move her down from A+ down into A. Wonder Woman also got moved down to A. She was A+, held that for a very long time as a legendary. Now her legendary is no longer part of the tier list, but her ascended character, her ascended form is on the list at a nature. She's still a very solid hero. Still can use her in various game modes. You can use her in PvP. You can use her in Training Simulator. Still an effective character. She remains at A tier. She's got a couple stuns. She's got some shields, so not a lot changed there. She did get a little bit of a change with when she went to Ascended, but I think that's expected for all legendaries moving into Ascended. We may see a little bit of tweak to their kit just to make them a little bit better than what they were. Raven, I moved down as well. She's been A+ for a very long time. She's very niche, in my opinion. When it comes to plug and play and being able to put her into different teams, she's very dependent on being in a Justice League Dark team. You can build her up very well, and she can support that team very well. But again, very niche, so I felt that it was appropriate to drop her down into the A tier. Harley took the hardest drop. She's all the way down into B tier. I don't know any team that really uses her effectively anymore. I mean, early on, she's great, but she's going to drop off very, very quickly. The Birds of Prey team, not a very good team at all. I have felt if she had the Arkham Asylum tag, it'd probably be a little bit better. I think the Arkham team's pretty cool. Not the best team in the game, but just her as a character overall just really has dropped off. She's definitely suffered from power creep overall. So she did take a hard drop down to B tier. Penguin, I've moved Penguin down to D tier here. Just not a character that I use very often. I don't see him used in very many teams. He just doesn't have an effective kit, in my opinion. He's got some AoE damage. He's got some Arkham synergy. Just nothing there really helps make him stand out. So he did drop all the way down to a D tier. He was in C previously, so he only really dropped down one tier. But I think he fits fine down in D tier right now. All right, C tier. We did move Arsenal. Arsenal was B for a long time. I was hoping he would stay B for a while. I was hoping we may see some change to his kit, or maybe even get more information on what this Outsiders team might look like. That seems to be a little bit far away. So I did drop him down to the C tier. Just not a very effective character. I think on paper his kit is kind of cool. I think they just need to bolster him up a little bit to make him a little bit more effective. Maybe we'll see that in some updates, some character updates when we see more Outsiders team members, or maybe when we see at least one more Outsider champion added to the Outsider team, then maybe we'll see some synergies there that make him come alive. I don't know. But right now in his current form, C, I think fits pretty well, if not D tier, to be completely honest with you. All right, so that's everybody that moved down. Let's talk about a couple characters. I'm going to talk about Hippo. So Hippolyta here. So a little back and forth with her. She was great. I was going to put her at S tier originally, and then they went ahead and changed her kit. I think, again, speaking to some of the things that Quantum and I have talked about as far as developers and taking feedback, this is one of the characters where a lot of feedback was provided on what they did to adjust her kit. Where they had adjusted her kit, she would have stayed down. She would have been dropped down to an A+ tier, if not A. But they went ahead, based on the feedback, they reverted it back to her original kit, which I think was great. They did make a slight adjustment there. There was this insta-ult she was able to do at one point. That's no longer an option, but I don't think that was enough to really keep her in that A+ tier. I think with her shields, not just for herself, but for her team, she is a very good character. She is absolutely awesome. I do feel she rivals Dr. Fate. Now, Dr. Fate I have kept in A+ tier just because, in my opinion, he's a little more niche. I mean, he can grant shields to anybody, but he's more spiritual damage, where we've got Hippolyta here, which is more physical damage dealing type teams. When I've compared their shields, Dr. Fate is a little bit better on the shields, but I think with the versatility of Hippolyta here, or Hippo, as everybody's calling her now, I think her plug-and-play ability across multiple types of teams, not just the Amazonian teams, I think really pushes her up into that S tier. She's absolutely fantabulous. A lot of endgame players and whales taking her up into the reds, saying, hey, get her up into those reds. I think she's more of those high investment characters as well. I think at White Stars, really not absolutely fantastic. You start seeing some goodness come from her in the Blue Stars, but then once you start getting into purple and gold, she really starts to take off. Definitely worth the investment. If you are a new player and she's in the bleed, I would 100% say yes, go ahead and grab her. If you're more in the end game, the only thing that I would say is it really depends on the teams that you're building. If you're focused, like me, I'm focused on JLD, I'm focused on Superman family. That's where I put a lot of my investment. I don't know what this Amazonian team is going to look like. The only character revealed for the Amazonian team, not the tag, the team itself, is Hippolyta. Or Hippolyta. Look at that. I reverted back to the Hippolyta. But is Hippo. We don't know what the rest of that team looks like. And it seems like maybe that team might be a little ways off. So we'll see. We'll see where she lands. But she is a great character. She belongs in S tier. I'm just really super excited to see what this Amazonian team might look like. All right, Swampy, last character. Let's talk about him. I love this guy. Swampy, Swamp Thing is fantastic. He swaps out Wonder Woman. So for the JLD team, you swap out Wonder Woman for Swampy. He's got, if you get him and build him, you want his Mythic Plus piece. 100% necessary, because that's going to give him the ability to reduce attack from your enemy team. It's going to give him some HP recovery for the entire battle, which is absolutely fantastic. Outside of that, he's got damage reduction with Swamp. The Swamp, we did some testing. If you didn't see my live stream testing, I'll put a link up to it right over here. But he's got his Swamp that comes out, lasts for 10 seconds, which is huge, especially when you're talking about a training simulator and PvP. Comes out for 10 seconds. Right before Swamp goes away, that Swamp reduces the damage that you take, right? Right before that Swamp goes away, you're going to have Dr. Fate going to launch his shields. Then the Swamp's gone. I mean, it's timed very, very well. So there's a lot of sustainability, a lot of survivability within this team. The team as a whole is an AoE damage dealing team. So obviously that's going to come into play when you think about Combat Simulator. I don't think it's the best team for Combat Simulator. I think you can get some good damage on the AoE bosses. Him and his 10-second Swamp really doesn't do much for you when you come to Combat Simulator. But you even take this team and you go into Darkest Timeline, which we did in the stream as well. I think he's pretty effective there as long as you select the JLD team, because you need to get his stars up so you can get that Swamp. So he is very, very good. I like him. He helps a lot with Constantine. So you take him into PvP, you can survive against the Deathstrokes and the Nightwings much better with him than you can without him. So in that stream, you'll see we did quite a bit of PvP, and there were some good tests there. There were some that we just absolutely did not win. I tried to punch up like a lot and it didn't work. We tried different team configurations and stuff, so it was a lot of fun. But he is absolutely necessary for the Justice League Dark team. He really helps the survivability, specifically going against Deathstroke and going against Nightwing. It really, really helps. So I think he's absolutely fantabulous. He's A+. I do want to put him into S tier. I will say I've been flirting between A+ and tier. I just don't want to oversell him right now. I want a little bit more time with him. I do have him at 1 red. I do have his force completely maxed. So right now I'm conservatively putting him at A+, but I feel that I'm probably going to move him up into the S tier with the update to this tier list. So very curious. What do you think about the adjustments we made? Like I said, a lot of these characters moved down. I completely wiped out the legendaries, and we've got Hippo and we've got Swampy there at S and A+ respectively. So very curious. What do you think? How do you feel about Hippo? How do you feel about Swampy? Those are the two newest characters, so I want to hear a lot of feedback about that. And then what do you think about the tier list overall? A lot of characters pretty much stayed the same. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. I apologize it took so long to get the tier list out. Can't wait to look at to read your comments and hear your suggestions as well. All right, everybody, as always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.